A Darkened Room by Jules André Smith, presented by the Art and History Museums Maitland and CFCA Arts. The scene is in the kitchen of the West home. It is a typical farmhouse kitchen, a combination living and dining room. In the rear wall to the right of the center is a door and a double window opening onto a back porch, latticed, vine-covered, and giving beyond it a view of a garden. To the left of center, another door opens into Hilda's room. A sofa stands between the two doors. The kitchen stove is against the right wall, and there is a narrow door between it and the front of the stage. A door in the left wall leads into the hall. The furniture consists of odds and ends and suggests the neglect typical of most American farmhouses. There is a sink, a dresser, an ironing board, a few stiff-backed chairs, and one rocker that looks as if it may be comfortable. A table stands in the foreground and right of center. It is covered with a red tablecloth, and there is a plate or two and a water jug that would indicate that the table has not been entirely cleared.
Jane! Jane, where are you? Has the doctor gone? What did he say? Did he say she was any better?
Doc says our only chance is to keep her quiet.
But Dad, she acts so strong.
I guess she's strong enough, but Doc says it's her heart. Her heart is in a terrible, awful way. If we could only keep her from trying to get out of bed. Doc says we got to keep her from getting excited. We got to keep her quiet.
Gee, it's worse than I thought.
Doc says excitement, any sudden shock could kill her.
I thought he said she was better yesterday.
She was, but then she got out of bed last night. Raised hell with her heart. We just got to keep her quiet.
You're gonna stay with her, ain't you? This afternoon?
Yes, but I got to go to the shop first. I'll be going a few minutes. I'll be back just as fast as I can. Your Aunt Tilly's in with her now, trying to get her to sleep a little bit. I don't know what we'd do without her and Jane.
I don't know where Jane is. I thought I heard her in here a minute ago. I'm sure she's on the job somewhere. You can bet on that. Say, Dad, you're not sorry we got her in here to help.
Jane? I don't know what we would do without her. You're a great little picker, Dave.
Gee, she's a wonder. Some cook, too. You gotta hand it to her, Dad. Have you told Mom yet?
No, not yet. I will. I told her we had help for Aunt Tilly. But you know how she is. I think she would be scared if she knew we had a stranger in the house. She's easily upset with those kind of things. Where's my coat? Oh, here it is, all set out for me. Some more of Jane's doings. Holy smoke, a flower in my buttonhole. That girl will be making a bloomin' dandy out of me if we don't keep after her.
Gee, I'll be getting jealous of you, Dad. Just you remember, she's my girl. Hands off.
I know whose gal she is. You brung her here, but I'm the one that hired her. Don't you forget, she's on my payroll. Never you mind. Davy, I'll lend her to you evenings for the movies. She's a good gal, and said I don't think you're going to be able to fool her.
Don't you worry about that, Dad. I ain't known her for the last half year without standing in with her just a little bit. Leave that to me. But I'm glad you like her. You like her a whole lot, don't you, Dad?
Say, what's the matter with you anyway? What you getting at?
Because I'm going to take her off your payroll. Just as quick as she'll let me. That's what I'm getting at.
Well, I won't be worrying about that till next Saturday. But don't you go scaring her off before Mom's up and around. I must go. Oh, here's Jane now.
Hello, Jane. Oh, we ain't gone yet.
So I see. Oh, the doctor, he told me just now. I saw him as he was leaving. Oh, Mr. West, you mustn't worry. I mean, you won't, will you? Ain't it fierce when you can't do nothing but wait?
We was just talking about you, Jane. Him and me.
You ain't gonna fire me.
No, Jane. Dave here wants to give you some kind of raise. But see, it's me paying your wages. I'll let the original contract stand as is. Of course, allowing you wanting to stay.
stay. Did you ever see a stray cat that wouldn't? Sure, Mr. West. I'll stay as long as you'll let me. I've only been here a week and already it looks like a home, like what a home ought to be. Oh, well then, that's settled.
And you will stay. Gee, I told you so. I just knew you liked it, didn't I? And I told Dad he'd like it, and of course I like it.
You're a wonderful kid, but a hell of a loafer. And you take after your dad some ways. Oh, come on, let's get out of here and give her a chance to clean up after us.
David, you won't forget about the shelf, will you?
Gee, that's right. I've almost forgot, after coming all the way here just for that.
Yeah, and he expects us to believe that.
How high do you think it ought to be, Jane?
You get the shelf first. We'll decide the altitude later.
Meaning take your hat, boy, and go.
It's that shelf Mom wanted. It will be up and ready for her when she's out again.
That's good. Ain't you going my way, Dave?
No, Dad, I gotta go to the mill for some boards. I'll see you later.
I'm only going to the shop, Jane. I ought to be back in a few minutes. Aunt Tilly's in with the wife now.
Well, Mr. West, if I could only be of some help. It don't seem fair, her being in there so much of the time. Honest now. But couldn't I take my turn with the rest of you? Seeing as I've made good with you and all that.
That's sure good of you, Jane, but I guess we better not just yet. You see, you being a stranger to Mom and all, it might upset her. After what Doc said today, I won't take a chance with that, even to be obliging. You understand, don't you? After all, Jane, your big job is here, and I think you're doing a great job. I'm going now.
Jane is deeply touched by his praise and a trifle embarrassed. She is silent and turns and stands in the door, watching him as he goes into the garden and off. She stands for a few minutes longer, answers his wave from off right, and then turns and comes in quickly, brushing the tears from her eyes. She goes to the table and removes the cloth. In the act of folding it, arms extended and the middle of the cloth between her teeth, her eye is caught by a picture of Dave in uniform that is hanging on the wall. She moves over to it and looks at it gravely, smiles, salutes, and throws a kiss. With a happy laugh, she turns to resume her work. Dave, who has returned his foot rule, has witnessed the pantomime, steals up to her, and as he takes her in his arms, covering her mouth with his hand to prevent her from crying out with surprise, indicating the sick room, he motions silence and then releases her.
Pinched in the act. I saw every move you made, including the last one.
Well, Freshie, that's what you get for snooping around here. See? Well, what you gonna do about it, smarty?
What am I gonna do about it? I'm gonna take you in my arms and I'm gonna kiss you. And I'm gonna ask you something that sounds awful good to me. If you'll let me, Jane.
Hold on, Dave. Not so fast. Gee, some speed. And me here just a week.
And it's payday. And I'm going to.
Money. Not kisses.
Listen, Jane. I gotta tell you, and you've gotta listen to me.
No, Davy, wait.
I ain't going to wait. I've waited all I'm going to wait. Sure I have. Jane, ever since that day we met, that was 6 months ago. Gee, I knew it was all up with me. You had me, Jane, from the first jump, and I was all yours. And I guess you knew it, didn't you, Jane? You knew it all right, didn't you?
Please, Davy, let me go.
Nothing's doing, girlie. I just gotta tell you this. Don't cry, kitty. It's all right. It's all right. Everything's hunky now with you and me. I knew all the luck was gonna be ours. Gee, when you said you was willing to come here and help out till Mom was well again, and I asked Dad, and he was willing to have you, I just knew it was all over but the shouting. And I was right, wasn't I? Say I was right, Jane. Let me hear you say it.
I don't know, Davy. But I guess so.
Of course you know. Can't I see it in your eyes? Oh, Jane, won't you tell me it's a go? Honest now, you just gotta marry me. Come now, cut the shy stuff. You ain't afraid of me, are you?
Davy, I gotta think this over. It's sudden, and then again it ain't. I guess I knew all along what was going on inside of you, and I guess any girl can tell that. The real thing. Real love. Gee, and from a fellow like you, Davy, I'd like to grab it and run away with it and hold it tight. Here. Wait a second, Davy. You've got to give me time. I just got to think about it a little more, you see. And after all, you don't know nothing about me. I'm just a girl that happened to be lonely at the same time you happen to be hanging around.
Cut that stuff, Jane. What the hell? I mean, what do I care who or... You know.
Yes, Davy, I know. And that's just why I want to be sure before we sign on the dotted line. You run along now and let me work. And think.
Gee, you're a wicked one. Turning a guy like me out of the house? Feeling as I do?
Shoo, beat it.
Hold on. I most forgot what I came in here for. I left my rule.
Oh, and you made love to me was just an afterthought?
I ain't made love to you. I just asked you to marry me. That's about all I can think of these days.
Here, take it and go.
Gee, but ain't women cruel?
Take that, you great big bully.
She closes the door quickly and quietly and stands with her back against the door, holding the doorknob, listening and smiling. There is a sound from the direction of the porch. Unknown to her, a man's face is seen looking into the window. Jane continues for a moment longer with her back to the door and then moves again to the center to resume her work, singing softly to herself. On hearing another sound in back of her, she stops abruptly and turns towards the sick room, listening. Hearing nothing more, she again goes to the table and begins to sing once more. Her back being to the porch door and windows, she does not see Bill Barton's face as he again looks in the window. She busies herself with various things and is turning to put away some things in the dresser when she is startled by the sound of tapping at the window. She swings quickly toward the sick room door and then to the porch at the sound of a voice.
Dolly.
You! What are you doing here?
I want to see you.
No, go! Go! For heaven's sake, go!
Dolly, I gotta see you. I gotta tell you something before it's too late.
Don't call me Dolly. I am Jane Dale now. If you have anything you must tell me, say it and go. Please. How did you know I was here?
I saw you yesterday by chance and followed you. I had to. I tried to find you back home, but no one knew nothing about you. I'm on my way west again, for keeps this time. I had to stop over to see you at the doctor. He says, well, I won't be bothering you again. I'm pulling out of here tonight, so you needn't worry none about me hanging around.
Well, then tell me what you want of me. Quick!
Say, Dolly, I mean, I come to see you because I want to square myself with you, if I can. And put you wise how it was that time with you and me. Doll, hold on a second. Let me speak. Doll, I gotta get this off my chest before it's too late. Before I cash in. I know. It's pretty late for me for that soft stuff. But a fella in my boots feels different about a lot of things. If you don't mind, I'll sit just a few minutes.
Well, go on.
It's about us two. That night when I lied to your dad about us being out together all night and making him think all sorts of things about you, things that never happened. Listen, Dolly, listen. The whole thing was a frame-up from start to finish. A dirty frame-up. Man, from the whole of it, me taking the wrong road and the car breaking down on us. And after I left you in that old shack where you sat up waiting for me all night while I walked back to that jerkwater joint where we ate supper so as to phone back to the folks as you wanted me to, well, I guess you found out since I didn't know phoning.
That was it. That was why.
I'm telling you, doll, well, it was a frame-up. All of it. Oh, God, what a fool I was to fall for it. Not thinking just where it would land you.
You, what would you care?
I did, doll. Honest, I did. To God, I did. That was just like me, a fool really caring and kidding myself that maybe perhaps you have me. Oh, I know. I was never good enough for you. I found that all right that night after it was too late.
Too late? Why is it too late? Why couldn't you have stood square and told the truth? Told Dad what really happened, and instead of letting him think what he did, you knew what it would have meant to any girl, let alone a girl like me with a mother of mine hating me as she did, lying about me to Dad and just waiting for a good chance to set him against me for keeps. God, I could kill you.
I know, doll. I know. But I was up against it. The doctors told me I had to go west. It was life or death. And I needed money. I even thought I'd get you too.
Money, what are you talking about?
Money! My swag for putting the deal over. Haven't I been telling you all it was a frame-up? I was easy and fell for the stuff she handed me. Telling me you was crazy about me and then getting me to run off with you if you'd stand for it. And if you wouldn't, then I was to keep you out overnight.
She. Who do you mean?
You see, it was just as you said. She wanted the goods on you, so your old man will kick you out.
You mean my mother? Oh no. God knows she hated me, but she couldn't have done that.
I tell you, it's the truth. I tell you, she done it. Framed it up against you to get rid of you. Hate you? I'd say she hated you. Stuff she handed you. Gee, I don't know how you ever stood for it.
I can't believe it. Not that. She couldn't have gone that far.
I tell you, it's the truth. Don't I know? Didn't she give me the money? We all used to wonder how long you'd stand for her dirty work. I guess that's why I thought you might put up with me if I gave you a chance to get away from her.
And leave Dad?
That was just it. You and your dad being so thick together and leaving her out in the cold, so to speak. Jealous she was. She was crazy jealous of you, and that's why she hated you so. I'm sorry, doll. Honest, I am. Deep down, I was really hoping all the time to save you from the rotten deals she was handing you day after day. And it wasn't until the next morning when we went back to the house together and seeing your father go against you and carry on the way he did, and that she-devil nagging him on, 'twasn't then that I knew what I'd gotten you in for. Honest, doll. I was so scared. I didn't know what to do. I wanted to give the money back and squeal on her, but I didn't dare. I didn't dare with her looking at me that way. The next thing I knew, they had the door shut on us and you was up the street running away from me. Dolly.
Yes, it was like her. When I think back to all the things she said about me and did to me, and all the fixing it so that she could be alone with Dad, well, I guess she was up to doing that. Oh, God!
Dolly!
Why did you tell me that? Haven't I suffered enough without your making it worse by letting me know? Do you think I could hate that woman more than I do already? And you're trying to square yourself with me. Oh!
Hush! Easy, Dolly. He got me wrong. It's not like that. I'm not asking for myself. It's for your dad. I want to square it with him. Don't you see? He didn't know. He knew nothing about it, only what she told him. So you see, doll, you can't blame him. You mustn't hold it no more against him. That's what I come to tell you. Do you get me now? All right. I'll go. I guess I ain't much good at fixing things. I thought as it might help you if you knew how it was with your dad, knowing what pals you and him was. God, if there was something I could do to make it all up to you, set you square with him again, but no one will believe me now. I tried, but all I got was a laugh. And then I tried so hard to find you, but no one could tell me where you'd gone. Then your father died.
Please, don't.
She sold the house and everything in it and started somewhere west. Perhaps if I could find her. But it ain't likely she'd own up to what she's done. Some have it. She married again. I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Oh, it's over. It's over. It's too late anyway. Why couldn't you just let me forget it? Just as I was getting clear of this mess, setting my way to a little happiness, you gotta come along and dig it all up again.
Gee, I never was good at nothing. Well, I better go. You can't think of anything that I could do for you?
Nothing!
You've been living like this, Berg, ever since? Well, I guess you've been better off than me. The 4 years have raised hell with me. You ain't married.
No.
Thought so. Well, I'll go now. I guess I'm about the last man you'll be wanting to wish good luck. All the same, I do. Well, Dolly, so long.
Jane's lips barely move. She does not look at him but remains standing, looking straight ahead of her until the sound of his footsteps has died away. She then turns to the door as if to make sure of his departure. As her eyes turn again to the center of the room, they light upon the picture of Dave. She takes a few slow steps nearer to it, looks at it steadily for a moment, and then with a sob puts her hands to her eyes, goes to the table and sits with her head in her arms, crying bitterly. A moment later, the sick room door opens and Tilly enters. She backs into the room, closing the door carefully.
Has Dave's father come in yet? Oh, for land's sakes, child, what has happened? Oh, why, dearie, what on earth is the matter? Oh, no, there, dearie. Now, don't you cry and carry on this way. It ain't good for you. Now, that's better. You know, I bet you're a tiny bit homesick and a whole lot tired, or have the men folk been teasing you again? I heard voices a little while ago. It was Davy, I bet. You can't fool me, because I know. Davy told me he was going to mention it to you. You see, Jane, him and me, well, we've been chums sort of ever since his ma died. There ain't much he don't tell me, and I have known right all along how it's been with you and him, and when you come here to give us a helping hand, well, I just set myself to wishing, and even though I wasn't quite sure till I saw you, after that I just told Davy to just jump right in with all 4 feet and get you before some other fella grabbed you away from us all. I reckon he must have jumped too hard, sprung it on you too sudden like. Oh, I bet that was it, wasn't it? Well, I thought so. But you mustn't mind, dearie. Well, the boy is crazy about you, and, well, it's my own private opinion that he ought to get right busy and make his own little home. It's different with him now since his dad married again, and I guess he told you that him and her, well, they don't get on any too well. That may seem funny to you, but as I sees it, you can't blame neither of them much. I mean, the boy still misses his ma, and Mom, well, I guess is just a wee mite jealous of Davy. I mean, he being such a good pal to his dad, you know what I mean. Well, dearie, you see now how it is with our Davy, and he loving you as much as he does. I guess you can figure out just how much it means to him. You coming along all this way just when he needs you the most.
What does she look like? Mrs. West, I mean.
Oh, she. Oh, that's so you ain't seen her yet, have you? No, I almost forgot. Well, I don't know how she's much different than, most women folk. And, well, except her eyes, they're sort of black and sharp like, and she's dark complected, and I guess she must have been a right smart pretty girl in her day. Just as soon as she's a little better, I'll take you in and see her. Just you have to wait a while. The doctor won't allow it. We mustn't do nothing to excite her.
Dave's never told me very much about her. I can understand that now, knowing between them. Just the same, I've often wondered, specifically since I've been working here, but I suppose her people live round here?
Oh, no, she come here after they was married. It was that summer Mr. West was working upstate on the Milltown Bridge that they met. Mom ain't much for talking, and, well, I ain't the kind that sticks my nose into places where it ain't wanted.
You don't think that perhaps she'd mind about me and Davy, in case he and I...
Oh, it's Davy's father that might do the kicking, if any. You needn't worry about Mom. I reckon she won't weep none too much if Dave leaves home.
You mean she wouldn't mind?
Oh, you mustn't mind me talking this way. 'Tain't quite fair me saying what I did just now, and with her, poor thing, laying in there sick. I just wanted you to know how things was around here, seeing as you're now sort of thinking of being one of the family. Well, you'd have found it out anyway. I mean, sooner or later. Besides, dearie, I'm all for making David happy by getting you to tell him yes. But don't you worry or hurry too much. You think it over careful. Only try and put the boy out of his misery just as fast as you know how. Now that's a good girl. Now, she is still sleeping, so I'll just run over to the house for a few minutes now. Dave and his dad ought to be in any second now. If she wants me, one of you can run over and get me. She's tired after last night, and I guess she won't be bothering. I'll be back before you know it.
She exits via the porch and garden.
Jane watches Tilly as she exits. She throws a quick glance towards the sick room, stands for a moment in thought, turns and moves quietly until she is near the door. She looks intently at it, as if to look through it and answer the suspicion and doubt that is in her mind. She now steps close to the door, listens, and then slowly lifts her hand to the doorknob. She looks about her cautiously, and then turning the knob, silently pushes the door open, slowly, inch by inch. Confronted by the dark, she stops, looks about her again in fear, then quickly closes the door and backs away from it, as if in horror of what the darkened room might hold for her. Reaching the line of the table, she stops and faces front in deep thought. She looks about the walls, regarding the pictures, as if for the first time, looks along the shelf above the sofa for a possible photo. She goes to the linen drawer, looking for a monogram or laundry mark. She is back to give up her search and screw her courage to enter the sick room when she discovers a work basket on a small table. She seizes it eagerly, fearfully, and taking it over to the table, begins pulling forth its contents. Various pieces of materials, a pair of scissors which she examines minutely, and at last brings forth the proof which clears from her mind all doubt. It is a needle case embroidered with the name Hilda.
Hilda! I knew it! Impossible. I can't face it. I must go.
Tilly! Tilly! Tilly, where are you?
Oh, why don't they come? Why don't they come?
Tilly! Tilly, I want you. Tilly, do open the door. It's so dark in here. I can't stand it. Oh, that's better. Oh, light. Oh, Tilly, come here and give me your hand. My eyes, I can't see after that dark room. Tilly, what are you up to? Why don't you help me? What, Tilly, no, don't leave me. Tilly? Oh, that's better. Oh, I can see now.
I will call her.
Who are you? I thought. And what are you doing in my kitchen? Come out from back of me. Who are you anyway? And what business have you in here? Come out, I say. You. Oh, so you dared come back again. But here, you, here, in this house. How dare you? How dare you? What right do you have to come in here? You, oh.
Well, look out. Let me go before you. I may say something that you'll be sorry for.
Oh, no, I won't have you sneaking off until I know what you're up to around here. You with your sneaking ways.
Stop. I won't listen to you. You have no right to question me now. We're finished, you and I.
Haven't I, though? Haven't I? With you here under my roof? I want to know what you've been doing here. Answer me that.
Do you think that for a minute I'd come into this house knowing you were here? Oh, if only I had. I tell you, I didn't know it. I had no idea where you were or what had become of you. Why should I care what happened to you after what you did to me? You want to know why I'm here? I'll tell you why I'm here, under your roof. I'm here because at last someone really wanted me. Wanted me, do you understand? And I came because it gave me the chance to live decent, with decent people. And that's why I'm here, to start my life again and forget. Oh, good God, that I find you here.
Stop it. Stop it, I say. Listen to me. I'm going to get to the bottom of this. How did you get here? Who dared take advantage of my sickness to bring you here? Answer me. Answer me.
Well, what does that matter now? It's all over. And me trying to play the helping angel. God! Well, I'm not going to have you blaming Dave and Mr. West. I came here a week ago, just after you were taken sick. Mr. West needed help, and Jack and I being friends.
Oh, so that's it. That's what brought you here. I might have known it. You up to your old tricks again. You gutter slut. Can't you leave my folks alone?
Hold your mouth. I won't take another word from you. I know your game now. I found you out. I know how you framed it with Bill Barton. Yes, he told me. I know. But you're not going to put anything over me again. I'm out of your reach now. I am clean and free, and Dave and I are going to marry and clear out of here.
Marry? You marry? Oh, not likely. Oh, but you can have him as far as I'm care. Take him, if he'll have you, after I finish telling him about you and Bill Barton.
You tell him that, but it's a lie. It's a lie, and he won't believe it. He won't believe it.
Oh, won't he? I guess I know what a man will and won't believe. I did try it on your father for nothing.
So then, that's it. You're at it again, are you? It's Dave this time. As if you hadn't done enough to me already, throwing me into the street with your rotten lies that turned out against me. Do you think I'm going to stand for it a second time? Oh, no, this time I fight. I fight. Do you understand? And I'm going to beat you to it. I'm not going to wait for you to start your dirty underhand work. I'm going to show you up right now. I'll tell them what you did to me, and they'll believe me, because I've got Bill Barton now to prove it.
I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
Jane, appalled by her sudden fury, backs away from her, her arms upraised to guard her against Hilda's attack. Hilda makes a supreme effort to reach her. Gripped by a sudden spasm of pain which distorts her face, she falters, stumbles blindly to the couch where she drops in a state of collapse. Jane looks at her for a moment, horrified. Realizing what has happened and fearing the worst, she gives a cry and rushes to Hilda. She raises Hilda's head and tries to restore her. Desperate, she runs out onto the porch just as Tilly, followed by John and Dave, come into view.
Thank God! Mrs. Blake! Mr. West, hurry! I couldn't stop her. I couldn't. She came out just after you left, and I wanted to go for you, but she wouldn't let me. She held me and wouldn't let me go. Oh, Davy, what have I done? What have I done?
Here, Dave. Help me. Let's carry her into the room. Easy now. There. Tilly, a light.
Tilly hurries into the sick room ahead of them. A light appears as the men carry Hilda into her room.
Oh, Dave, I couldn't help it. I tried to get help, but she wouldn't let me go. I didn't know what to do. She stopped me and wouldn't let me go. And then.
I know, girlie. It wasn't your fault. We shouldn't have left you alone with her. Don't cry. You couldn't help it. It was the same as last night. Don't you cry no more. It'll be all right.
No, Dave. It won't be all right. I don't know what to say, how to tell you.
I guess I understand, you poor kid. It must have been something awful. Just you alone here. But don't you cry no more. It will be all right.
Davy, I've got to tell you. Let's go where we can talk. Come.
Sure thing, but there's no rush. Aunt Tilly.
It's over.
Good God.
It's over? It's over.